Greetings, gamers! I'm Shootkapow. The Pokemon Emerald Hardcore Nuzlocke with only grass types was a ton of fun, but now it's time for a weird one. Today, I'm going to be taking on Pokemon Black, but with a twist. I'm only allowed to use a Pokemon's lower base attacking stat in battle. For example, Oshawott has an attack stat of 55, but a special attack stat of 63, so I can only use physical moves with Oshawott. Mixed Pokemon such as Snivy are allowed to use both categories, but they're only allowed to choose one at a time, so no using, for example, Wrap plus Leaf Storm. Status moves are, of course, universal. This run is actually inspired by a competitive Pokemon Other metagame, or OM, called Contrarian Mons, where the same rules apply. It's actually a ton of fun, and you guys should go check it out. The Discord server where you can play is linked in the description. As always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this is being written before the run started. Leave your guesses on whether or not we can win. I'm sure that it's possible, but it might be a bit tough with what Pokemon we can use at times. Let's go ahead and give a quick rundown of the rules. In combat, I'm only allowed to use moves of Pokemon's lower attacking stat. For mixed Pokemon, I'll try my best to keep their movesets contained to one category at a time. Any Pokemon can use stats moves. No items are allowed in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of battle are allowed. With all that out of the way, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more, and let's hop right into the challenge. We start off by picking Oshawott, who actually has a lower attack stat all throughout its evolution line, meaning we can actually use Razor Shell when we get it. We name it Notwatt and set out onto Route 1 to see if we can catch anything usable. Unfortunately, neither Patrat or Lollipop have any usable moves, but Purrloin actually has mixed stats, meaning we can actually use its physical moves. It also gets Assist, which we can actually use to pull moves like Water Gun, since moves like Metronome are allowed in Contrarian Mons. Pansear also has even attacking stats, meaning we can actually use its Incinerate in the upcoming gym battle. Unfortunately, we can't really use any other move with it for the rest of that fight. Speaking of which, we beat up Cheren and take on the gym. First up is Lillipup. We lead Notpurr into to get some chip. It starts setting up when we go to Notwatt for more damage, but it's hitting hard with Bite. We get off a couple of sand attacks with Notpurr before going down, and Notwatt gets taken out as well. Notseer is our last hope, and we take out Lillipup easily, and then it's a race to 0 HP against Pansage, which we end up winning by just 1 HP. Man, what a fight. After beating up Team Plasma in the Dream Yard, we can head to Route 3, where a lot of cool new Pokemon are opened up to us. First off, we have to battle Cheren, but after that we can grab a Blitzel and a Pidove, both special attackers. After some story stuff in the cave, we can also grab a Roggenrola as another special attacker and a Woopat as a physical attacker. Blitzel can't be used until it gets Shockwave at level 11, but Pidove can use Gust right away. The newcomer train doesn't stop though, as we're able to catch a Tympole who will be mixed until it evolves into Seismitoad. Audino is a great contender too, being able to support the team with status moves and heal itself with Regenerator. The run has been full of low-powered attackers and passive mons so far, which is actually an issue many Pokemon have in the competitive Contrarian Mons format. However, I'm sure we'll be able to get some stronger moves soon. Speaking of stronger mons, it's time for the second gym battle. After a bit of grinding, the team's been leveled up properly and we can lead Notseer into her Herdier. We set up a workup, she sets up Weir, but our follow-up Incinerate does pitiful damage as we get OHKO'd by a crit. We send out Notwatt yet, who has evolved, and we can hit the Herdier with her second Razor Shell since she's too blind to hit the first one. Watchog comes out, and we switch to Notzel as she misses a Hypnosis. We manage to live a Retaliate and get off a Paralysis, then we can Paraflinch her down with Notbat and switch to Notwatt on the heal. We're able to get off some good damage before going down, and Audino can come out last to finish the job. Afterward, the local terrorists are once again up to no good, but more importantly, the rest of Pinwheel Forest is now open to us. This means we can catch some fun new Pokemon such as Sawaddle, who will be much more useful when we get good TMs late game. Unfortunately, it only gets Bug Buzz's level up as a Sawaddle, so we won't be evolving it for a while. It's a nice change of pace to be able to catch a bunch of Pokemon in a run, and it's just been a lot of fun in general. Let me know if you guys would like to see more runs like this in the future. And now, we reach the sprawling metropolis of Castelia City. We go ahead and take on the Battle Company and get the XP share, and Audino also learns Secret Power, a useful normal type move. We also successfully grab a Firestone on our third attempt, which will let us evolve Notseer at level 22 when it gets Flame Burst. We quickly take down Team Plasma, and before taking on the gym, there's some new Pokemon available to us on Route 4. There aren't many great ones, but Sandile is an alright Intimidate user at least. While I'm leveling up for Berg, Notbat evolves, giving us a bit more attacking power. Once we get some stronger moves, this thing could actually be pretty good. It's a Fly user that can actually use Fly, so that's nice at least. Notseer also gets to evolve into Samisear, so Berg will probably be pretty easy. Yep, he's a total sweep, so it's time to take a look at the actually tough rival battles. We lead Notbat into Bianca, who beats Herdier. We hard switch to Notwatt, and we manage to take it down but we're on low health. Notseer OHKOs Pansage easily and Mana with a crit, and we can 1v1 Pignite and Notbat for a fairly stress-free battle. Cheren's a little tougher. He leads Pidove into Audino, and we hit a Secret Power before switching to Notzel to take it out. Servine comes right out, so we switch to Notseer, but unfortunately our accuracy is dropped by Leaf Tornado. We only miss one though, and we take down the snake. Panpour comes out, but Sonato can take it out easily, and last is Lifeheart, who gets easily 1v1 by Audino, winning us the fight. Those are some pretty good fights. Honestly, the run's been really enjoyable so far. It's a nice break from the Nuzlocke and solo runs, and though it's been closer to a normal playthrough, I'm actually looking forward to using unorthodox sets like Energy Ball Levani and Flash Cannon Excadrill. Luckily, we're going to have access to more Pokemon soon, and more items because of the Battle Subway, giving us a lot more options in terms of diversifying the team. We make it to Nimbasa, giving us a lot to do. First, we head to the park to take on N. He leads with Sandile, so we have to switch out Noxel. Notwant gets his new Choice Band disabled by Embargo, but we take it down easily enough, and the Darumaka after. Scraggy is annoying, and we're not able to take it out before Notwant goes down, but Not Bad finishes it off. Last is the Sigilyph that traumatized me as a child, and we do good damage to it with Not Bad, but we're getting low. I switch to Noxel, but it just gets whirlwinded back into Not Bad as Tailwind wears off, letting us win the fight. Next, we head to Route 16 and catch a Trubbish, who will be anything but trash. This thing gets Toxic Spikes and Sludge Wave, two good moves, and it's going to be a great one to have. Noxel evolves into Zebstrika, giving it much more firepower. I've been wanting to use this Pokemon recently, actually. I also catch an Emolga, which might be fun to use later. It's mixed, so its low stats are actually looking pretty good in this run. With that, we can finally take on Elisa. Notrash gets outspotted by her lead Emolga, but we get a switch because of our eject button. We go into Noxel, who deals just below half of Emolga's health as it does pretty much nothing to us. I want to see how much a round does, but it just switches into Zebstrika, who doesn't take much. We lower its accuracy with Flash, and it misses Flame Charge, so we switch to Noxeer, but he's just outsped in 2-shot. Notwant gets outsped too, but luckily lives in the red and takes out Zebstrika. Her Emolga after takes him out, but Noxel can just come back in, and even with all her healing, she's not able to outlast us and goes down. Our next obstacle is Clay and his ground types, but we have a lot to do before then, and many Pokemon to catch. First though, we're going to teach Noxel our new Volt Switch team, giving us a great reliable pivot option. Our next fight is yet another brawl with Charon, and most of his team dropped by flies. Servine could have been an issue, but luckily, even with accuracy drops, our first form Route 1 bug walled it and took it down with a 30 power bug type move. After that, we get access to Driftvale Drawbridge, which lets us catch Ducklet. Its evolution Swanna has seen experimentation in the actual Contrarian monster, but here it's a mixed attacker whose job will be very different. We make it to Driftvale and Team Plasma is up to no good, but we have Aaron's Run 4 taking care of that. I head to Route 6 to catch some new team members, those being Nozbuck the Deerling and Notsus the Fungus. Amoonguss is a highly ranked mon in the real format, so I'm excited to use it in its mixed stats here. With that, we can go ahead and take on the cold storage. There to meet an ambitious Minzino who started using Swift against us just to show how contrarian it could be. I was inspired and named it Notzino as it joined us. Oh, and we got Iceless the Vanillite. We've got Clay coming up, and I expect him to be pretty easy. We have multiple good mons on him, and we can swap out Noxel, Nottrash, and Notseer for resists or better mons if we want. Overall though, I don't think it's going to be too hard. Afterward though, we're going to get access to a lot of good mons in Chargestone Cave. We make it to Clay, and he's almost a total sleep. Excadrill outsped us but just went for Hone Claws, and even though Palpitoad whipped a Choice Band boosted Razor Shell, it just used Aqua Ring as we took it out in the follow-up. Well, at least now we have access to some cool new stuff. After our obligatory rival fight, that is. None of Bianca's Pokemon really do anything to us, but Bushana takes a lot of hits. It misses Hypnosis though, so it went down easily. Afterward, however, we get Fly for Not Bad. After that, we're able to nab Insect the Joltik in Chargestone Cave, and Knockthorn the Ferroseed right after. Guilty the Quink joins the team, as does Pickaxe, and I eventually managed to find Solid the Tynamo. All of these have potential to be great Pokemon, and I'm excited to use all of them. Elotraus in particular is a great mon in the actual Contrarian monster. Now that we've reached Mistralton City, we have a flying chip to take on, but not before we get Sonottle to level 36, finally letting it learn Bug Buzz and allowing it to evolve into Squadron. I've noticed lately that we have a lot of special attackers, which is expectedly contrary to how normal runs tend to go. I'm very funny, please subscribe. I'll probably end up putting Notwant back on the team over Notpole and try to find a a fire type that can use physical moves for this run, since Chandelure isn't doing anything with base 55 and Notseer only gets Flame Charge. Unfortunately, the best option in the game is Heatmore, who's locked behind Victory Road and doesn't even get any physical fire moves. Time for Skyla though. We lead with Noxel, who takes out her lead Swoobat with one Volt Switch. We try to beat down her Unpheasant with Not Bad, but we just switch back to Noxel as she heals and clean her team with Shockwave. Pretty easy fight as expected, though I wish it had been a little tougher. We do at least get Discharge as we level up. We also have a Charon fight on the next route, and we need Notwant. His lead Unpheasant is annoying with attacks, but it's no match for a couple of hits from Notwant. We switch to Notseer on Servine, who we beat down despite its lead seed, and Sonottle 2-shots his Semipour with Grass Knot. Last is Lightbard, but it's no match for a Rocky Helmet Nodino, winning us the fight. After catching this mon that is definitely Terrakion, it's time to head through Twist Mountain. This has been an interesting run so far. I really can't explain how every subtle change makes the game so different with just one rule. And I'd implore you to just try the run yourself. There are enough options to make a completely unique team if you want, and you could even use Emboar if you want to ignore the opening rival battles. Oh, also, Sonottle finally evolves into Leavanny, giving us a full team of final stage Pokemon. With that, now we're in Icarus, and we might as well fight the Ice Gym. I was expecting something a little more tough, but the lack of Freeze Dry in Gen 5 means that, even with Swagger, they don't touch Notwant as he tears through their team. Luckily though, we've got some content as Team Plasma decides to take over Dragon Spiral Tower, much less impressive than Team Rocket's Radio Tower takeover, I might add. After watching End casually catch an ancient godlike dragon, it's time to head to Opaloosid City where the final gem awaits and where we might need to break out the ice types. First though, we have to head to Desert Resort to do some story stuff. The game's been kinda slow lately, but I'm getting close to having 100 Pokemon registered in my Pokedex, meaning I can get the TM for Hidden Power from Professor Juniper. It has potential to be good coverage on some of our special attacking mons with poor coverage, most notably Tonsil and Sonatl. Before that, however, we have to take on Bianca. Her Stoutland is a threat, but we're able to chip it down with a combination of rain-boosted surfs and helmet damage from Nodino, and we take it out with a fly from Notbat. Unfortunately, her Emboar barely lives a super effective banded fly and takes us out, but we take her out with Razor Shell as she heals on the follow-up. Sage comes out after, but we're able to switch to Sonatl and take it out with Buzz Buzz, and the Life Orb allows us to do the same to Musharna, winning us the fight. We're able to see a couple new mons on Route 9 before we reach Opaloosid City, but waiting for the gym is gonna be tough. I don't have many ice types right now, and emulators are weird with seasons, so I can't get more easily. Luckily, I do have the Frost Breath TM, meaning the Beartic would likely be able to carry me through the Dragon Gym, and Ondino's Rocky Helmet would be a huge help in conjunction with Regenerator. All in all, I think we have the options to do well. And hey, maybe the new mods in the gym will push me over the 100 scene mark. Time for the gym. We lead Nothorn the Pharaoh into his fracture and use Ingrain to give us some healing. It just goes for D-Dance as we wear it down, but next is Druddigon. I use Iron Defense as he goes for Dragon Tail, and I'm surprised as we're not phased out. Apparently Ingrain prevents phasing, which is nice to know. With that information, the combination of Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet wears down his team as Ingrain keeps us alive, winning us the fight. Man, that was easier than I expected. With that, we're able to show Professor Juniper our Pokedex of 100 Pokemon, and in return she gives us False Swipe and Protect. I don't think either of those are Hidden Power. Seems like I've been scammed. Apparently you only get it once you have 115 Pokemon seen. This is why Bulbapedia is better than the Pokemon database, folks. On Route 10, I get jump scared by a Charon battle, so here we go, I guess. I lead Notwad into his Unpheasant, who takes less than half from Razor Shell as it sets up Razorwind. We switch into Terrakion, causing it to do minimal damage, and Volt switch out into Icelist of Vanillish. Serperior comes out, takes minimal damage from Icicle Spear, and probably 2 shots us with Leaf Blade, and then starts setting up Coil with Notbat. We still do big damage, but get crit on the follow-up and go down. Luckily, Sonatl with the Slam and takes out the Serperior, and his Life Orb goes down to a couple Flash Cannons from our Specs Terrakion. Last is a Simipour, which is doing scary damage with Scald, but it can't break past all of our electric type attacks and goes down, winning us the fight. And with that, we've reached Victory Road. I'm really hoping we can meet the criteria to get Hidden Power here, since it has the potential to let us use some fun mons well. I think we definitely have enough options to beat the League, but I want to see something unique. Luckily, I have a few ideas in mind. Before we head into the League though, I'll just quickly remind you guys to not only like and subscribe for more challenge runs, but for more contrarian mons. The meta is holding its first post-Teal Mask tournament soon after this video releases, hosted by yours truly, and I'll be covering it here on this channel. If you want to participate, or even just check out the meta for yourself, make sure to join the Discord server link in the description. I hope to see you there. Now, go ahead and leave your final guesses on whether or not we can beat the League. Strap in, and let's do this. First is Ghost Trainer Chantal. I forget to switch up my team, so I lead Sonatl into her Cofagrigus. I get off a Flash as I take a Will-O-Wisp, then switch into Notball, who 2-shots it. Jellicent is out next, so we switch to Leaf Annie, who eats an Energy Ball and retaliates with a Leaf Storm. Unfortunately, it doesn't nab the KO, meaning we take damage in return, but our White Herb means we can take her on the follow-up. Unless we miss, in which case Insect the Galvantula can take her out. Chandelure is out next, and though she takes big damage from Sucker Punch, it isn't enough and Insect goes down. Notpool comes out, but gets outsped and taken out, leaving Notseer to hit a Yawn and switch it to Notbat, who hangs on from a Fire Blast with just 9 HP and retaliates with a Fly to take out the Chandelure. It misses the follow-up against Golurk, unfortunately, but Notseer can come out right after to hit a Water Gem boosted Hidden Power Water, which does less than a third of Golurk's HP. Our last resort is Solid Eelektross with HP Grass, but we're unable to outdamage her healing and we go down. On the second attempt we lead Solid, with just 2 shots Cofagrigus as it hits a useless Will-O-Wisp. Golurk is out next, and we land a crit HP Grass to bring it into the red as we eat a Shadow Punch. We have to sack Solid here, but we get enough chip damage for Notpool to Revenge Kill her. Jellicent is out next, and our Sonatl maneuver works here, since we've equipped a Grass Gem to barely get the kill, and last is Chandelure. We go to Notseer, who dodges the Fire Blast but takes big damage from the follow-up Shadow Balls, our HP Water does nothing. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this guy. Well, we can at least get off a Yawn before going down, and the invulnerable Turn of Fly lets Notbat dodge her Shadow Ball as she falls asleep. Unfortunately, we don't get the knockout and get burned off Flame Body, but she luckily doesn't wake up as we switch to Insect and get the kill with Sucker Punch, winning the fight. Second is Dark Trainer Grimsley. We lead Notbat into his Scrafty, and though Fly doesn't get the KO, his follow-up Crunch doesn't either, meaning we can take him out easily. Crocodile is scary though. We switch to Insect, but he can't do anything as he's taken out too fast. Solid gets good chip damage, but falls as well, and though Notpool takes a lot of damage, he's able to finally snag the kill. Bisharp comes out next, and it fails to get the kills he do big damage with Surf, and then we can finish it off with a Fire Blast from Notseer. Lifeheart is out last, and I have a plan for this one. I sack Notbat to Fake Out and get into Leaf Annie. We're hit hard with Aerial Ace, but it doesn't even manage to bring us down to our Focus Sash as we retaliate with a Swarm-boosted Bug Buzz, OHKOing the life part and winning the fight. Third is a weird battle with Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. We beat a Choice Spec Sonato into Reuniclus, but it lives on a Sliver and does big damage with Psychic. She heals a couple times, but we take her out anyway. Sigilyph comes out, and we switch to Solid as it doesn't do enough damage to two-shot it with Psychic. Volt Witch takes it out, and we get Sonato back in, but Bug Buzz doesn't even come close to taking out Musharna as it retaliates with a Psychic to KO us. We send out Knothole, who takes out Musharna with 3 Silk Scarf boosted Echoed Voices, meaning our next 2 do big damage to Gothitelle. She sets up Calm Mind, but her follow-up Psychic leaves us on the Sliver, letting us nab the kill and the win. Fourth is Fighting Trainer Marshall. We beat Notbat, who flinches throw with Heart Stamp and then finishes off with Flying Gem Fly. Sock is next, and we switch to Knothole on Stone Edge, then pivot to Knotsier and Karate Chop. I proceed to do an Air and Zang and miss Will-O-Wisp, but Solid is able to beat it down anyway. Conkelotor comes out next, and Volt Switch does good damage to get Knothole on Hammer Arm, and then retaliate with a Surf. Last is Mienshao, who takes out Knothole, but it's no match for a crit fly from Notbat, which wins us the fight. Now all we've got are the final fights against N and Ghetsis. I'm actually kind of interested to find out if Reshiram has any usable moves, or if it's gonna have to stay in the box, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm thinking of switching up my team a bit, since Knotsier really didn't do much, and Nodino has great bulk in tandem with Rocky Helmet and Regenerator. We've had some hard fights, so leave your real final guesses now on whether or not we can win. Let's do this. N's lead Zekrom is annoying, but pivoting between Knothole and Knothorn lets us wear it down with a combination of HP Ground and Iron Helmet. Klinklang comes out on Knothole, but we switch to Nodino, who eats its Hyper Beam easily. We bring it to a Slipper with a Fire Gem Fire Blast and then dodge its follow-up Hyper Beam and take it out. He then somehow switches to regular Zoroark instead of having it transformed into something, which is literally impossible, but we evolve. I switch to Insect, who hits it with a Choice Scarf X Scissor, which doesn't get the kill. I salute as Insect takes a Flamethrower, which leaves it on 1 HP, letting us retaliate to take out Zoroark. What a legend. Caracoss is out next, but Knothorn has just enough HP left to chip it as it hits Aqua Jet, lift the Stone Edge, and take it out with Grass Knot. Vanillux comes out, so we sack Knothole to give the safe switch to Solid, who takes it out with a combination of Flash Cannon and Volt Switch after dodging a Blizzard, which was statistically likely. Finally is Archeops, an Insect can let off a devastating Wild Charge to drop it to a Sliver, activating Defeatus and letting Nodino finish it off with an unnecessary but really cool crit, winning us the fight. We're not done yet though. We lose against Ghetsis to regroup, and then lead Knothorn into his Cofagrigus, and then proceed to PP Storm so Nodino can safely take it out. The terrifying Hydreigon comes out next though, and we switch to Notbat on a Focus Blast. We whip the follow-up Dragon Pulse to get some chip damage with Fly before going down, and then we go to Insect to try to take it out. It lives on a Sliver, but luckily he misses Fire Blast, letting us get the KO after he heals. Bisharp comes out next, and Knothole is able to take it out with Focus Blast as it just spams Metal Burst, doing nothing. Bouffalant is out next, and we do big damage with Focus Blast as our Pleasantkind with Head Smash. We pivot to Knothorn, taking it out through Recoil, luring out Eelektross. We pivot to Knothole on Flamethrower. It burns, but doesn't take us out, letting us get chip damage with Surf. A couple of X Scissors from Insect is enough to take Eelektross out thanks to that, and last is Seismitoad. We're able to hit him with 2, bringing him into the yellow before we go down, letting Knothorn come out to deal the finishing blow, beating Ghetsis and saving the Unova region, finally beating the run. Man, this was the most fun I've had with a challenge run in a while. I'd highly encourage you guys to try it out. All the different options and team compositions you have despite the limited movesets are so much fun, and I'd love to see this run done in other games as well. Of course, if you want to play this game mode competitively, you can join the Discord server linked below to meet the community, get team building advice, and have some battles. I'd love to see you there. As always, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more challenge runs. Come back next time, probably after or during the Contrarian Mons tournament, which I'll also be covering, to see me tackle Pokemon Scarlet with a team of only one Palmie. Until next time though, this video needs editing, so I'll see you guys later. This is Shoot Kapow, over and out.